Good morning. Something's going on with my phone that I have to rotate it or something. I don't know. I hope I'm not upside down. Today, what I'm going to be talking about is I'm wondering about how many of you have thought about actually starting a nutrition plan, changing your health. We got Katie. We're going to bring her on. From a spouse, your family, and then you get discouraged because you're not really sure, well, would I have to cook for 2 different meals? Would I have to make something for my kids? Hi, Katie.
Hi.
Something for my family. Oh,
it said to rotate my phone, but you can see me still, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And so are you in vertical or horizontal now?
Right now I am vertical.
Me too.
I was horizontal, but it said I had to switch my phone.
Yeah, me too. And I don't know, Facebook has changed something today, it seems. Yeah. So anyway, we'll just make do. I think we're right side up. I hope so. In any case, Katie, I was just saying that today what we wanted to talk about is the fact that lots of times when somebody makes a decision to change a health habit, maybe nutrition, an objection or a condition is the thought that, oh, my kids are going to be upset. My husband's going to be upset. And I don't know how to manage this. I don't want to cook 2 meals. I don't want to have to buy all kinds of groceries that nobody's going to like. Mm-hmm. And so I think it's just a really good conversation for us to have.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So what are some of the strategies that, let's just get the conversation going, that you use with our clients when somebody has that objection over, I don't know what to do.
Mm-hmm. Well, a lot of times just starting off small. So a lot of times you may get on a nutrition plan and you're like, yeah, I'm all in this 180, let's do this. And you totally change your pantry, your refrigerator. But I would say that is setting up the rest of the family for a lot of complaining, disaster, yeah, pushing back. And then you may end up giving in and giving up on that new health journey. So starting off with small changes, like one thing that I can think of is for lunch, let's say having a sandwich with chips. So instead of having chips, have baby carrots. The carrots are quick. They're a fast side dish. They're already peeled. Instead of having the crunch of the chip, have the carrots. Excellent. Implementing baby spinach, just having it set out for your meal. We do buffet style every night with our family of 8. So we just put all the food out around our island and we all go around and just providing different foods that are healthier. And once the family starts to see it, every night or a lot more, then they're going to be more.
And they can try just little bits at a time rather than changing the entire plate. Yeah. That your family is like, what is this? Yeah. There's going to be such resistance. Mm-hmm. And honestly, Katie, this is what I talk about all the time, is the one choose your change challenge, in terms of, even as like the person that's zealous about making a change, when we try and change too much too soon, it's often too much and unsustainable. So for the individual as well as the family, making those small changes, and I love how you just say, just change one thing at a time, so your family is kind of recognizing the food, give an opportunity to make a choice on things rather than literally having things stuffed down their throats.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent.
Well, one more thing that I was thinking about that it's a slight change is, I know a lot of people use boxed food. So just one I'm going to throw out there that comes to my mind is a tuna helper, or like a tuna casserole.
Right.
So you could replace the tuna even with, instead of getting the vegetable packed, like the oil with the vegetable packed tuna,
yeah,
change it for the water. Just a subtle change like that. No one will even notice that. Yeah. And then eventually you can start purchasing your own noodles and
making it from scratch.
Yeah.
And I know that working with you, working with me, we always have sneaky ways of like sneaking in, say, spinach or other vegetables, where your family, your husband, your spouse, significant other, anybody that's a bit resistant to actually just the thought of, you know, maybe a health, you know, adding vegetables to anything, they wouldn't even know.
That's right.
Right. Yep. So that's a really good idea.
I did make a lasagna the other night. I did use the gluten-free noodles, and I added in, I bought a pre-cut already cauliflower medley mix with a little bit of broccoli. And I just put that in the lasagna and no one even noticed. So there was cauliflower with bits of broccoli, because the broccoli was so chopped up that the broccoli could look as fresh parsley or something.
Nice.
So
yeah, so
another little trick there.
Yeah, I mean, so sometimes you can just sneak in nutritious, like nutritiously dense food without changing the flavor, and you can upgrade the quality of the micro and macronutrients without your family giving too much pushback. But the key is the small changes.
That's right.
Yeah. And I think the other thing you were, that we wanted to talk about is just communication about, like, if all of a sudden someone goes in the refrigerator and it's like, am I in the right home?
Yeah.
Right. Do you want to talk about that a bit?
Yep. So definitely getting your spouse on board, you know, talking about first what you're going to be doing. You know, I'm starting this new plan. I really want to get our family on a track of eating better foods for us. We're going to feel better, more energy, and just kind of discuss that with your spouse. And then even like writing your grocery list and getting prepared for that, you can get the family's feedback. You know, what are some things that you'd like to try? You know, try 1 to 2 new meals a week. And just maybe even if that seems even too much, because you know that you're going to get feedback that's not going to be on your health plan, you could choose 5 healthy meals that you want to try and pick 2 or pick 1, and then set those out for your family to say, you know what, here's some recipes that I want to try. Can you pick one? Tell me what one looks best to you.
Right. Yeah. So again, just not like stuffing it down their throats, just kind of easing into it and letting them have some choice.
Yes.
The other thing that I find that, because a lot of times some of my clients will say, you know, my husband, like, I'm starting to get fit and I'm on this healthy journey, and my husband is just totally not on board at all. And so my suggestion in that case is to not be, I don't want to use a negative term, but not to be nagging about it, but just to be a demonstration of energy and positivity, and let the spouse have some choice, because there's nothing worse than, you know, having that spouse build resentment, because the spouse might be like, well, what does she think? I need to be on a diet? Like it changes the dynamic quite a bit. So you have to clearly communicate what your goals are for yourself, and frame the goals in such a way to your spouse, significant other, family. Hey, look, like, I'm not saying that you're fat.
Yeah.
Or, right. It's just, I want to have a health upgrade for myself, and I'd love for you to want to upgrade your health. So just clearly communicate those goals. And then if they really are resistant at first, just be such a shining example of, like, success, of feeling good, of being energized, you know. And generally, I've found that is the best way to get somebody on board with a health journey, is rather than nagging them, just make them want what you're having.
That's right. Absolutely. Right? Yep. You being a light to the, what's the word I'm looking for? Not the consequences, but you know, there's always the positive consequence of our actions.
Yeah, the result. Exactly. Yes. Conversely, if you're doing a cleanse, or you're going on like this low calorie, unhealthy diet, and you are dragging your sorry behind around, and you're not sleeping, or you can barely stay awake, or like if you're on that kind of nutrition plan, you're going to get pushback. So, I mean, that's nothing that we would ever want our clients to do. We don't want our clients to be suffering in any way, shape, or form. We want people to be feeling energized and satiated, and not be eating like the same, you know, chicken and broccoli every day with like bland food. So we have ways to make the nutrition change a pleasurable one.
That's right. To taste good and also feel the energy that's coming from whole foods instead of, just, you know, the lack of nutrients, the lack of specific foods like the carbohydrates. With that, you are going to feel run down, and who would want to join you?
Right. So it's important that you get a healthy plan that makes you look and feel great, so that your family will want to join in. And I know that Katie, we're on the same page when we say that, you know, we don't want to reduce an entire food group or macronutrient or like any kind of nutrition plan that we're going to suggest is going to be very balanced and nutritionally dense without having to buy, you know, hundreds of dollars worth of supplements and chemicals and that sort of thing. So really we want to take a practical approach so that others in your life seeing what you're doing are going to be more likely to embrace it as well.
Yes.
Do you have any other tips for us, maybe for snacks or planning?
Well, I was thinking with the spinach that if you are already having a protein shake in the day, add a handful of spinach, because it is something that you can't even taste. You're going to see green and a little green chunks, but really it's very minimal. So add that in. And for snacks, you know, I'm a big like hard-boiled egg person, and even having them available in the fridge already peeled, I know that takes more work at first, but then they're there and you can grab, and then your family will also hopefully join in and eat them as well, and just get that added protein, because it's easier to have carbohydrate snacks than protein snacks. But if we're making those protein snacks available and easy to eat, then we know we will eat them, and our family will hopefully eat them as well.
Yeah, and really it's a matter of do what I do, not just do what I say. So if you're walking the walk, eating well, feeling energized, then it's more likely that those in your family are going to get on board with that. And one last thing, sometimes I see clients in the grocery store, I don't know if this happens to you, Katie, and immediately they'll be embarrassed or want to cover up their cart. Like, oh, this is just for the kids. And I want to plant this seed in a nice way without being offensive. But the fact is if you're feeding, if you know that processed and boxed foods are not good for you, then it's something that you should maybe consider not feeding your kids as well. So I always want to say that, but I don't know how to say that in a nice way without offending. Like I understand like when my kids were little, and probably for you as well, there was a lot more treats in the house, because I didn't want my kids to think, oh, you know, just to go on a binge anytime they left the house. We had a healthy balance between, like, you know, vegetables and, you know, some treats. So there is a balance to it. But the fact is that if it's not good for you, it's not good for your family. So that's just the constant message that you want to try and be conveying to your family as well, and that we're eating for health and for energy.
Absolutely.
You know, not necessarily to be thin or to be skinny, that kind of thing. But it is a delicate balance to try and get your family on board. And if anybody knows, Katie, it's you with a big family.
Yeah, we do allow the kids dessert on only the weekends. You know, often they want to eat something at night after dinner, and it's like, you know what, dessert is a treat. It's not something that you just expect to have. Also, we have a pizza, you know, occasionally. And same thing, you know, I don't want to deprive them and make them totally rebel once they get into college or something with food. Yeah. And I also, especially because we have 2 daughters, I never talk about diet, and I never talk about I need to lose 5 pounds because I want them to see food as nutritional, that it's helping with our brain, our energy. It's not just about how we look.
Exactly. Yeah. And then what you were saying about dessert, like it's how you position dessert as well. If you have fresh fruit in the house, you can have dessert every night.
Yes, that's true. Very true.
Right? Like you're probably thinking of, you know, ice cream or like a sugary type dessert.
Yes.
But honestly, you can have dessert every night. Just have a piece of fruit, and you know, with the availability of fruit nowadays in the grocery store, because you know, you can get even out of season fruit. It's just how you position it.
That's very true.
Yeah. So anyway, Katie, just wanted to, it's always more fun to do a Facebook Live rather than just talking to myself. So I think this was a great topic, because I know a lot of women do struggle with the idea of, you know, how do I get my spouse, my family on board? So I think we gave some great tips today. And if anybody is interested in some more tips, some help in, you know, maneuvering their own nutrition and implementing it so that their family doesn't revolt, then I'll have a link. We'd love for you to fill in a questionnaire. We can find out a little bit more information about you, and we'll see if working together would be a great fit. So have a great day, Katie.
Thanks
you for joining us.
You have a good day too. Okay. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Okay. Bye-bye.